Hello friends, welcome to BVR English for All YouTube channel. If you are watching this video for first time, please subscribe and please click on the bell icon to get regular updates. In our channel, we have videos for school, college and competitive examinations, English grammar lessons and spoken English classes are available. Today we are going to have an interesting lesson from intermediate first year, that is from prose, the first lesson, letter to his son's teacher, written by Abraham Lincoln. Before going to discuss the lesson, let's have a look on the author Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln lived between 1809 to 1865. He was the 16th President of America. He was very famous for his excellent public speaking skills. He was also famous for his leadership during the American Civil War. He was also remembered as the great emancipator for his work to end slavery in the US. In those days, the rich people in America used to buy some poor people as slaves, and the slaves had to work according to the will of their masters. They had no freedom. They were completely under the control of their masters. At that situation, Abraham Lincoln tried to end that evil. He was successful. He made many slaves free from control of their masters, and that's why he was called the great emancipator for that deed. This is the introduction. Let's have a look on the introduction of this lesson. Letter to his son's teacher is said to be the letter written by Abraham Lincoln when his son is going to school for the first time on the first day. This Abraham Lincoln's letter is full of optimism. It completely shows the positive side activities. Optimism means something that develops positive thinking. An optimist, we say, an optimist is a person who always sees the brighter side, who always follows the positive attitude. And this lesson also highlights the importance of human values and human relations. This lesson mainly focuses on the role of the teacher as a kind, tender, and understanding guide to the young minds. It discusses the role of the teacher, how a teacher should be, what are the qualities of a teacher, and when he tackles the children or students, what kind of methods he should follow. And this lesson is also full of values that the teachers are expected by the parents to inculcate among the students. Lincoln's thoughts are insightful and the style is simply superb. The thoughts are thoughts have deeper meaning. There is a deep level of meaning, but the style means the way of expressions is very simple. The lesson has 4 paragraphs. Now let's look at the first paragraph. My son starts school today. It is all going to be strange and new to him for a while, and I wish you would treat him gently. It is an adventure that might take him across continents. All the adventures probably include wars, tragedy, and sorrow. To live this life will require faith, love, and courage. Here, Lincoln says, "My son starts school today." The letter is said to be written when Lincoln's son is starting to go to school for the first time on the first day. And he says that it is the first time for my child, for my son to go to school. And it is all going to be strange. What it refers to? What does it refer to? It means here the atmosphere at the school is completely strange, means unfamiliar for the child. Unfamiliar for the child. It is very completely unknown to him and new to him for a while. Everything looks at the school, the atmosphere, the school, the people, everything, the other schoolmates, everybody, everything looks very new to him for some days, until he is accustomed to, he is habituated to, until he understands everything there. And I wish you would treat him gently. I expect you would treat him gently. You please treat my son, because he comes to the school for the first time. That's why please treat him in a soft manner. Please treat him in a soft manner. Here in these two lines, Lincoln has an appeal for the teacher. In what way he has to treat his son who is coming for the first time on the first day. It is an adventure that might take him across continents. It is an adventure. The education, the study, what he is going to have is an adventure. He defines education as an adventure. What is an adventure? Adventure is an exciting activity, an interesting activity. It is for that child an interesting activity. This activity in the future will take him across continents. In future, he might go to other countries. He might go to the other continents. He might go all over the world when he gains knowledge. All the adventures probably include wars, tragedy, and sorrow. All the adventures, these adventures probably, perhaps, include wars, tragedy, and sorrow. Battles, tragedy means a disastrous activity or a sad event, or sorrow, grief, sadness. So we can understand from these lines that he wants to make the student realize that life is a mixture of both good and bad. He suggests the teacher to make the student know about all these things. Wars, tragedy, sorrow means here both good and evil, both good and bad, good people and bad people, both happiness and sadness. Like this, everything is mixer. He has to know, the student has to realize this. To live this life will require faith, love, and courage. To the student to experience this life happily, he needs three qualities: faith, love, courage. Faith, the trust on him, the belief. Love, a strong feeling for others. And courage means a feeling that he can do something on his own. So these three things are required to the student. So these three things should possess by the students. So that he requests the teacher to inculcate these qualities: faith, love, and courage, because these are essential qualities to experience the life. So this is the first few lines of the first paragraph. Let's have a look at the second part of the first paragraph. So, dear teacher, will you please take him by his hand and teach him things he will have to know, but gently if you can. Teach him that for every enemy there is a friend. He will have to know that all men are not just. All men are not just, that all men are not true. But teach him also that for every scoundrel there is a hero, that for every crooked politician there is a dedicated leader. So, dear teacher, here Abraham Lincoln addresses the teacher in a polite manner with utmost respect and affection. And he is requesting the teacher, will you please take him by his hand? Could you please take my son by your hand? Teach him things he will have to know, but gently if you can. Please teach him things, whatever he has to learn, please teach him. But that process should be in a gentle manner, in a soft manner, if you can. Here, the phrase if you can refers one idea. The author, Abraham Lincoln, knows about the difficulty in teaching process, because the teaching itself is applicable by is involved by many psychological aspects. So there is some difficulty in teaching. He knows about the difficulty, that's why he uses if you can, if it is possible, he says like that. Teach him that for every enemy there is a friend. Please show my child that there is darker side and there exists the brighter side too. Please let him know good as well as bad. He will have to know that all men are not just. All men are not just. Just means morally right. All men are not correct. All men are not true. That all men are not true. He says, don't. He requests the teacher to make the students realize that all men are not morally right. Some men are corrupted. Some men are dishonest. Some are honesty. Some are good. Some are morally right. He has to know good people as well as the bad people. But teach him also that for every scoundrel, for every worthless fellow, there is a hero. If there good exists, there also bad exists. Scoundrel, if there is scoundrel, there is a hero. Why does he say so? Is if the student knows about the darker side, all the darker side means negative things only, he might be discouraged. That's why to give positive side, to know the value of the positive side, he has to tell them the both sides of a coin. There is a hero, that for every crooked politician there is a dedicated leader. There is crooked politician, there might be dishonest politician, and there is a dedicated leader as well. So here in these lines he wants to show both the sides of a coin, two sides of a coin. Then only he understands well about the life. That is the intention of Abraham Lincoln. So he requests in this paragraph, in the second part of the paragraph, he requests the teacher to make the students realize both bad and good, both scoundrels and heroes, both dishonest politicians and devoted leaders. So completely this first paragraph highlights the values or the good qualities that are supposed to be inculcated among the children by the students. Here the paragraphs talks about the qualities of the students should possess, the qualities that are expected by the teachers to be inculcated among the students. Let's move to the next paragraph. This is the second paragraph of our lesson. Teach him if you can that 10 cents earned is of far more value than a dollar found. In school, teach him it is far more honorable to fail than to cheat. Teach him to learn how to gracefully lose and enjoy winning when he does win. And in this in these lines, the author says that the value of hard work, the value of labor, and the value of the money change how the value of money is changed from one place to another place, one context to another context. 10 cents means a unit of money of the US dollar in US currency. Suppose in Indian currency 10 cents, let us think that 10 rupees, and dollar means, suppose let us think that 100 rupees. It is only for example, please consider. If the student earns 10 rupees of his own talent or of his own hard work, it is far more value than a dollar found. If he is given 100 rupees freely by his parents or someone, or he finds that money on the road for free, the 10 rupees has more value than the money given by his parents, which comes freely for him. So here what in this line we understand is hard earned money is greater value, has greater value than easy money. If he simply gets that easy money for free, it has no value, but even that is 10 rupees, it has more value than that 100 rupees. At the same time, in school, teach him it is far more honorable to fail than to cheat. Dear teacher, please teach him, please inculcate this quality. What is this quality? If the student feels that failing is a shameful thing, please instruct him that it is not at all a shameful thing. He should not feel ashamed of his failure. Failures are common in life. Failures are part of a game as well as the life too. Success also. And the student has to realize that he has to feel honorable to fail, because to fail means he has to keep efforts. Is keeping his efforts means he is trying. So yeah, he should be appreciated for his trials, but he should not be discouraged, should not feel ashamed of his failure. And whereas to cheat is a bad quality, should not cheat anyone, he should never cheat anyone. Cheating is a bad quality. Please instruct the child about the cheating. Teach him to learn how to gracefully lose and enjoy winning when he does win. In life, he has to treat failure and success equally. When he loses something, he should be gracefully lose it. He should be happily lose it. Gracefully means here in a pleasing way. He should accept the mistake, he should accept the failure, he should be happy, and he should not be feel ashamed or feel sorry for it in a excessive manner. At the same time, he should be able to know how to enjoy when he gets success. Both things are very important. So here in these lines, what we understand is the author says that the student has to realize about the treatment of failure and success in a appropriate way. That is, you should treat them in a equally. You should not be discouraged by failure. Next, teach him to be gentle with good people. Here good missing, please consider. Teach him to be gentle with good people, tough with tough people. In these lines, the author says that there might be some kind of people, good people and rude people. Tough means here we can say rude people, and rough people we can say. And this, the student has to know how to tackle these people when they comes across them. You should be gentle, you should behave in a soft manner with the good people, and you should tackle them in a stubborn way with the rough people or rude people. Steer him away from envy. Please, dear teacher, please steer my son, please guide my son away from envy. Away from envy. Envy means jealousy. If he is jealous of some successful people, please instruct him that you should follow those good deeds. You should inculcate that kind of good attitude of that successful person, but you should not feel jealous of that person. On the other side, he has to introspect himself what kind of mistakes he is making, and he has to plan for the success. If you can teach him the secret of quiet laughter, if you can teach these phrases, insist that the author also knows the difficulty in teaching. If you can teach him the secret of quiet laughter, please, if you can teach, please instruct how to instruct, or please make them learn the secret of quiet laughter. When he is alone in his loneliness, he has to enjoy his presence, he has to be happy with him only. Teach him, if you can, how to laugh when he is sad. Even in his sadness also he has to laugh. That is art of laughing, art of being happy. They should be inculcated. Teach him there is no shame in tears. There is no shame in tears. Teach him, please teach him, there is no shame in tears. When he feels sorry for something, when he cries, when he has sadness for some, when he feels sad for something, please consider that student has to know he should not feel ashamed of his tears. If there is genuinity in his tears, you should not feel ashamed of him. Teach him there can be glory in failure and despair in success. A beautiful line. Teach him there can be glory in failure and despair in success. Here in these lines also, the author explains about how to treat failure and success, and how to identify the failure and success. And glory in failure, glory means great beauty in failure, despair in success, loss of hope in success. Generally we think that failure is a bad thing, success is a good thing, but here the author suggests us we have to think about this failure and success in a deeper level, because appearances may deceive. In other words, we can say all that glitters is not gold. We can say glory in failure. Even sometimes failure also can have some benefits. Even sometimes success also have some pitfalls. So hence we have to understand that in the process of failure he may understand many things. In simply we can say difficulties refine our lives, like that we can say. Despair in success. Here these lines suggest us that even in the difficult situations we have to able to see the opportunities. Yes, this is suggested line in the suggested idea in these lines. Teach him to scoff at cynics. Please, dear teacher, please teach him to scoff at, to laugh at cynics. Cynics means a person who believes people are selfish, and this person always comments on the people. For example, a person who has some money is able to help the poor people, and this cynic goes there and he comments on him that he with to escape the taxes, that's why he is helping the poor people. he says like that. So these kind of people also exist in the present society. That's why please teach him, be aware of these kind of people also. So these kind of people are there, tough people are there, cynics are there. The student should be aware of these kind of people. So in the first part of this second paragraph, the author says that the value of labor, the value of hard work, the value of money, and value of his own talents, and teach him to learn how to gracefully lose. When he gets failure, he has to accept the failure, and he has to enjoy when he gets success. And he how to tackle the tough people also explained there. And he should not have jealous, and instead he has to acquire those good qualities from the others also. He has to enjoy the quiet laughter also. And there can be glory in failure and despair in success. This kind of attitude should be inculcated among the present society. In our present society, in present days, we see many young ones out of excessive sadness. When they get failure, they try to end their lives. It's very sad thing, but this kind of quality should be inculcated. Why? Because those students, those children should know about these things, failure and success. They should know that failure and success are part of life. They should be able to accept them, and they should know how to accept that failure and how to enjoy that success. This is the second paragraph. We are moving to the next. Third paragraph and fourth paragraphs will be explained in the next video, because it becomes very prolonged video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our channel if you haven't yet, and please click on the bell icon to get more updates about this. And you need not note down the notes, because if you contact this number 96522 you can get this file. Thank you so much for your watching. Please keep supporting us.